welcome to this conversation with IVE. I'm here with Miriam Navarro Escudero. Hi, Miriam.
Mm-hmm.
And,
hi, Simona.
And Ana Sanchis. Hi, Ana.
Hi, Simona.
Miriam, she's a financial manager and European manager and head of the international R&D department at the Valencia Institute of Building, and they're based in Valencia, indeed. Miriam joined the Department of Construction Management in 2006 and worked in the development of different tools for professionals regarding the application of sustainable products and technologies in the built environment. And then in 2013, Miriam joined the International R&D and Innovation Department and has managed different European projects from different programs. And she's also redactor of different publications about buildings and their environment. And currently she's a financial manager of the Institute and head of the International R&D and Innovation Department. And recently she also managed to get another degree, right, Miriam? You also got,
Yeah, right. I obtained a bachelor in economics this year.
Okay, congratulations. So we follow also the development of your professional career during TripleAreno.
Exactly.
And then I have another lady here with me from IVE, Ana Sanchis. Ana, she's a senior researcher at the International R&D and Innovation Department, also at Valencia Institute of Building. Ana has experience in both public and private organizations on design and supervision of architectural projects and geospatial science research. So she's focusing on smart cities and community, quality and sustainability research in the construction process and buildings. She also has worked for the JRC Institute in Italy, in Ispra, with the implementation of energy efficiency, green building program, and urban sustainability programs, for instance, with the Covenant of Mayors program. Anna, she's an architect, and she has a master on energy efficiency and sustainability, and also geospatial technology. So she has a kind of multidisciplinary background as well. So Miriam, so how long have you been involved in Horizon 2020 projects?
Well, I think that we joined the first project in 2014. That was, I think, at the beginning of the 2020 framework. It was a prof-track project, and it was focused on upskilling professionals to design and save buildings. And from them, we have been involved in 6 more 2020 projects and 3 more that are about to start. Well, we in IVE, we also work in other type of European projects from other programs, and what is really interesting is to see that there are different orientations from the different programs that are complementary each other. For instance, we work in Interreg that is much more focused on cooperation, but we work also in a 2020 that is much more focused on innovation. And it is complementary and it's really interesting for us. And well, for us, the most important part of working in European projects is the possibility to share our knowledge with other people along Europe, but also to learn from them. And we are really interested in applying the results and the lessons learned in our regional context. So it's really good experience.
Yeah, it's very good to work with partners like you, because indeed you have this different perspectives of doing research and innovation for different parties, of course, but also working in the European context. We know that there are a lot of differences when it comes to the nature itself of the project. And as in TripleAreno, for instance, we're focusing on coordination and support action. We know how this is also quite different from other projects. But maybe Anna, what do you think? How do this project, like TripleAreno and Horizon 2020 projects in general, differ from projects that you were involved during your professional career, being an architect yourself?
Well, as an architect and as a researcher in my previous work in the university, I've been involved in other research projects, but they were not Horizon 2020. I think this kind of projects that I'm doing now in IVE, they are bigger, they have more partners from more countries, they are more ambitious in their scopes, and they are more attached to reality. They are more attached to real people, at least when I compare with IT projects, which were mostly the projects that I've been doing before.
Yeah. And indeed, at IVE, so IVE is a private non-profit foundation, right? So, and you're also involved in research activities. Miriam, talking specifically about TripleAreno, what does this project mean for IVE as organization and the members that you are representing in your region, and what's, in your opinion, the real added value of this specific project in the regional context?
Well, I think that for me, the most important part of TripleAreno project is that we are working with people, with civil society. We as IVE are really accustomed to work with professionals, with public administrations, with academia. But with TripleAreno, it's much more focused on convincing the home occupants on undertaking renovation of their homes. And this is the real added value, I think, of TripleAreno project, is to be able to speak to people and to take into account their needs, their motivations when renovating their homes. I think this is the most important part, because we are, if we innovate and we do research, but we are not really able to transfer our innovation to the civil society, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, that's the most important.
Absolutely. And I also think that this is indeed the added value of TripleAreno compared, well, not only to regular projects on home renovations, but also the other projects that we know, this strong emphasis on people and at the different levels. So not only people living in homes, but also all the other people involved in the renovation process, indeed. So that's very important, and we really like to stress this point. So Anna, talking about home renovation in general, so you mentioned you are an architect, but you also have a research background. What are, in your opinion, the main barriers that are still existing for more affordable, attractive, and acceptable home renovations?
Well, among the obvious, like the technical ones or the regulatory ones, I would highlight the demand barriers, the social and financial demand barriers, because the renovation has often been approached as a technical challenge. However, social and financial barriers need specific attention to unlock the renovation market. Understand the needs and expectations from building owners for renovation is key. For instance, accessibility, aesthetics, appearance, or comfort are much more important for homeowners than energy efficiency. We should be able to sell energy renovation in a way that is attractive for the building owners. This is particularly key in those areas where climatic conditions make that energy investments require a long period of payback.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially we realize that under this constant changing time, and especially during this uncertain times like the one we're living right now, we realize that home renovation really need to take another another step, because we know that probably people in their home, even though they need to fix something, they will probably invest money in something that they might feel more useful right now. So to this, we definitely need to add extra factors that we cannot mention right now, we cannot foresee right now. But indeed, projects like TripleAreno are intending to also to fulfill and to fill this lack that are still barriers in our market. But Miriam, because you're strongly involved in TripleAreno, you're also one of the work package leader. Considering your specific role, what do you think about these barriers, and how do you think these barriers could be tackled by, for instance, a research project that then will become reality, hopefully one day?
Mm-hmm. Yes, as you mentioned, we are responsible for the work with demo buildings. And I think that our vision when we defined this work, it was to focus on quantify the benefits of renovation in order to undertake the barriers for people. So what we are doing with demo buildings is to measure the benefits of renovation. And for this, what we did is to develop a monitoring protocol in which we are measuring the impact that the renovation has in a home or in a building. So for instance, we monitor not only energy savings and cost savings related, but also we monitor indoor environmental quality, and we ask for information about increased comfort or health of occupants. So with this data, we are able to compare before and after renovation to measure, to quantify the impact of the renovation. So I think that this is good to visualize the benefits of renovation and to convince other people to go through this process.
Yeah, absolutely. And indeed, one of the important elements of TripleAreno is that we are willing to build this digital experience for a home renovation. And we think that in this transforming era of digitalization, this is always more important. So it's getting more pragmatic also as a solution, and we are realizing this also in these days. So we mentioned data. We mentioned that IVE is responsible for the demonstration sites, and is also responsible for collecting all this data that are coming from the buildings and also from the users, from the people living in this building. So Anna, how do you use this data that you're collecting? Because we know that there are a lot of concerns about data privacy, about data treatment. Is there like a process behind this, getting the data, converting this technical information into more friendly ways and easy to understand information for the home occupants?
Yes, of course, there's a process behind it. In our daily lives, our jobs are focused on energy efficiency and environmental sustainability, but people's daily concerns are very far from this. They don't have time to spend on trying to understand a bunch of data that we give to them or what implications they have. So that's why we implement a multi-step process where we first get real data from real people, as Miriam just explained, and then trying to bother their lives as least as possible. And then we combine it with other data sources that are coming from other fields, such as geographical context, social context, ethnographical research, trying to understand motivations, etc. So there's a work on acquiring data, which is in different formats, comes from different sources, and it has to be integrated in a common database, or at least make it interoperable in order to perform a proper analysis on it. So there, when we do that, we get the meaning, we get the context, we get information. But still, we need to serve this information for non-expert, for regular inhabitants of households. we have to give this information in a way that they can really get it and they can act about it. So that's why we then try to connect these databases to engines and tools that give reporting, graphical formats, so we can build nice, colorful stickers or badges or with smileys and ranks and points and tips in a language that is appealing for people. For example, I can explain it with a little example. We can get the temperature in a room, 5 degrees. This is a data, but it does not tell us much until we put it in context. These 5 degrees are an indoor temperature in Valencia, Spain, on July the 25th. This is information, but still it's quite technical information. Let's say something like, "Hey, it's too cold. Switch off your air conditioning." Here is when we push the listener to act, and this is the kind of things that we want to do in order to push people to really understand and get to renovate their homes.
Yeah, I think this is a very simple example to really try to explain what we would like to do with the TripleA-reno platform. And that for me, also one of the lessons learned from this project, that through gamification, which is not really like a game, but a sort of way to make it more attractive, we could really not only enforce behavioral change, but also make this behavioral change long lasting. So moving from behavioral change to habit formation. And the same way you're going to condition a kid to learn, we would like to condition people to learn through gamified platform. And that's for me the main lesson learned. But I also wanted to ask this question for you, because we discussed about lesson learned a lot. Can you tell us, like, what are the main lessons that you've learned from this project so far? I know that we had a lot of experiences and you have a lot of experiences, but if you could choose, like, let's say 3 main lessons learned, what you would mention, Miriam?
About the project. I think that one lesson learned from the project is that we would like to develop something that is sustainable after project duration. And this is our main objective, and this is our lesson learned. And it's because we cannot do everything in one project, but we can make use of the results in different initiatives that are still to come. So something that we are considering now from TripleA-reno project is to use it as a platform in other projects or initiatives. For instance, Save the Homes projects, that is one project that starts in September, and our objective is to create a network of one-stop shop offices for helping people to renovate their homes. So I think that TripleA-reno platform and TripleA-reno tools are really good for that end, and we are thinking about centralizing all the information for different homes that are being renovated in the TripleA-reno platform as a repository of best practices in order to show this information to one-stop shop offices visitors, to convince them and to let them know the impact of renovation in their homes. Mm-hmm. So I think that this is the most important lesson learned, to make use of the results of the project in other initiatives, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's very true. We like to say that these projects are sort of snowballs. So the more we run through the valley, the more this knowledge of this knowledge is getting bigger and bigger. So the idea is that the more projects we do, the more we learn, and the more bag of knowledge we can bring to the next project. Yeah, indeed. Anna, what's your take on the lesson learned on TripleA-reno?
Well, I think the lesson that I better learned within this project is that we have to count on the users, and we have to involve them and be aware of their needs and their expectations and their real problems. Because I've felt during this project that sometimes within the research projects, we try to solve a very big problem. And then it's the problem that we imagine it, and it's not exactly the problem that the regular people is having. So getting to talk to them, to get in their experiences, going into their homes, I think that that has enriched my experience a lot, and I have learned a lot of how we have to focus and to approach the solution of the problems that we try to do when we do this kind of research.
Yeah,
I think that's
absolutely. So from just planning and designing to the real implementation, there is a huge gap, and we are now really in that moment in which we have a program that we want to confirm, but we also need to deliver solutions. So it's challenging, but it's also very exciting. I wanted to thank you for this time. We always have so much to say, but we wanted to squeeze as much as possible. But before leaving, I would like to ask you one last question, and it's like a message of hope in these uncertain times. What are your hopes for the results of this project? Like, if you would imagine the best case scenario for TripleAreno, Miriam.
Well, I will say that we are able to contribute to decarbonize the existing stock at least a little bit from our side. Yeah. So
hopefully, and starting like the engine of the renovation wave.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anna.
Well, I hope that with this project we can bring some help to the people in order to really help them to improve their homes, to improve their comfort, their conditions, their lives, and also their environment, not just for now, but also for the future.
Absolutely. So with this message of hope, I thank you again. And thank you for letting us into your homes. And it was a really nice conversation with you, Miriam, and with Anna. And hopefully I will see you soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Thank you to you, Simona. It's been a pleasure.